Good evening, friends. I'm Cassandra Joan Butler, Agent 56 with the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, welcoming you to Cosmic Connections for the week. Just a little brief survey of some of the astrological energies of the upcoming week, and we do spiritual messages as well. So I invite you to sit back and reflect on your week, and we're going to take a look, focus, my friends, on the quarter cycle of the Libra cycle. So that cycle is today, right? It's the square between the sun and the moon. And between now and next week's new moon, it's time to complete and come to a focused template building. So in other words, the last quarter phase, when we take a look at that beautiful half moon, is inviting us to make the necessary adjustments in our life that are necessary to restart the new cycle in Scorpio. So, hello, Diane. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I know other people are in the room. I can't always see everybody who's in here, but just know that you're very welcome, and I appreciate you very much being here. Hi, Donna and Maria. So, we're going to talk about the last quarter cycle, and the degree of the week is 20 degrees of Leo. So we want to look where Leo falls in our charts. If you're a Leo sun sign or rising sign or moon sign, you're really going to be feeling that urgency to complete tasks that you've been working on for a couple of weeks. But since I've last talked to you, we've had two major events occur, astrological events, one on Sunday and one yesterday. What were those events? They were the retrogrades of Mercury and Jupiter. Now, many people who are maybe new to astrology, or maybe people who have no idea what astrology is all about, when they hear the words Mercury retrograde, they get nervous. It's as if Chicken Little, the sky will be falling down. And that's not the case at all. Mercury retrogrades about 1/3 of the time for a couple of weeks. It depends on the different signs. So if you have strong Sagittarius or Scorpio in your chart, that means the retrograde of Mercury that began on Sunday, and it goes until November 29th, is asking you to do what? To reflect, redo, reconsider, and remember. A lot of times during retrograde periods, we really unconsciously just go into that revision stage of our lives. And very often, if perhaps we're thinking about someone from our past, they're thinking about you, and you get this random phone call or text message or something along these lines. So it's as if the brakes are subtly on. I'll show you where the retrogrades are in a moment when I look at the lunation for our week. But it's nothing to fear. Of course, this will go down in history, this Mercury retrograde, as the one that came on the heels of a possible start of the government to re-up and restart on Sunday. There was a lot of talk on Sunday. That was the major news story on Sunday evening. And so they're still doing negotiations, right, in the U.S. federal government about the end of the shutdown. And again, it makes sense that we were coming close. And then, like, the stock market responded on Monday, stocks went up on Monday, and then we're not at a total agreement as of this hour. I don't believe, I haven't checked. So the point is, the retrograde sometimes throws a monkey wrench in the best laid plans or negotiations. So be aware, if you're especially a strong Sagittarius or Scorpio, suppose you're looking at starting or ending a business or making a bid on a house or signing a contract for employment, you might want to not necessarily not do it, but really, really scrutinize the fine print. And anything with computers, scrutinize the fine print. I've been having some computer issues with one of my email servers. And I'm thinking, okay, I need some big guns to help me with this because I'm pretty competent with computers, but not during a Mercury retrograde. I'm having some snafus. So Would love to do your chart, Maria. That's what I do anytime, anytime. And just a little reminder to you all, this is what I do. I do charts and I do something else a lot of you might not know in Western New York. I also do healing work, physical massage therapy, and also healing work. I'm a licensed New York State massage therapist, and that's not an easy thing to do, believe it or not, for some 30 years. So I do a lot of massage work as well as my astrology work. And coming up right after the retrograde, I'm going to be pulling up some specials for the holidays. So you might want to get yourself a gift certificate. Good evening, Marianne and Diane and Jean and Jennifer and Nancy and Crystal. Great to see you guys. Maria, Diane, Peggy, Donna, Maria. Great big hugs to you all. Alrighty, my friends. So let's take a look at our charts for this lunation. We divide, the month into 4 major weeks. So this started today, and we want to put our attention on 20 degrees of Leo. Go to your chart and find where 20 degrees of Leo falls. And number one, during the next special week or so, we may feel or experience, I call it weird narratives, because the moon is squaring Uranus. And there was a lot of action in the sky the past couple of weeks. Uranus had been in the sign of Gemini since 7/7. And see the big R? It retrograded back into Taurus. So just a little parentheses for you. As Uranus is in Taurus retrograde, it's about to start a 7-year cycle in Gemini, which is the sign of communication and thinking and commerce and thinking and technology and AI and all this stuff. Now it's coming back and it's going in the sign of business, money, stability. So that's why we are feeling we're not that secure, right? Across the globe, not just with the shutdown in the United States of America, but just the economies are feeling a little wonky. So that's why I'm calling it a weird narrative. What's going to help us get through the next couple of weeks is something that's been already in place, but I really want to put your attention on this. We have the sun in Scorpio at 20 degrees. It's doing a trine, which is an easy flow of energy to Jupiter, and another trine, an easy flow of energy to Saturn. It's forming this big old green triangle. It's called the Grand Trine. So what that's suggesting to us is that when we slip into the mindset that our needs will be taken care of and that we can help others and others will help us, and trusting our intuition and trusting our emotional attractiveness, then we'll be okay. A grand trine confers upon it a sense of well-being, but it's in the water sign, and water is emotions and intuitions. So be aware that we're all searching for some semblance of security, right? We talked about security and comfort last week when we were talking about that full moon. So to obtain that security, allow your emotions to attract the right situations and the right people into your life, even though Jupiter is retrograde. So we might be calling up people from our past to make us feel good about ourselves, to reassure us. Or we might be looking at ways to practice our philosophy, our religion, our spirituality from the past, because Jupiter is associated with all those qualities. So we are able to secure and reassure ourselves through our beliefs and our comfort and our sensitivity. It's a water sign, by the way. I just came to realize this. I took myself and I had myself a great soaking bath last night. It was wonderful. I just allowed myself to dissolve into the water. And that's what I'm talking about. A grand trine in water is looking at water. So I'm drinking some water here, as the balm to soothe our unsettling feelings with this weird narrative that's going on. All right. So there's always ways out of certain subjective experiences through the astrology. So using water as a healing balm. All right, so I already talked about this, but we have these wonderful retrogrades going back and back and back, delays and delays through the USA shutdown. Let's apply it to your life, okay? You want to go to wherever Sagittarius falls in your chart and or wherever Cancer falls in your chart. And these two signs, Sagittarius and Cancer, form something called an inconjunct. Now, it's not an exact inconjunct with the planets of Mercury and Jupiter. I'm talking theoretically. So Cancer wants security and home and family, and Saturn wants truth. And both of these planets are retrograde, Mercury and Jupiter. And so we might be trying to wrap our minds, our mercurial minds, around what's the truth of our family situation. Give you an example. We all have memories about families, right? Growing up. So maybe you'll be talking to, I don't know, a cousin or a sister or a brother about your recollections about the good old days when you were 5 or 15 or 10, and you might have different narratives coming up. But all of us are wanting to confer a more positive, comfortable message, even though it's coming from two different people and two different memories. So there might be this inconjunct happening. That's just one example how this might be working for you this upcoming week. And so the retrogrades are imploring us to go back to the past in our brains and in the way we cultivate philosophical security, i.e., through what we believe, which can be spirituality, and trying to make sense of it. So that's kind of like a universal nugget for you. But the my goodness, the retrogrades for travel, again, has anyone booked a flight recently? There's, I mean, this is a fact, right? I think it's up to 10% maybe of flights are being canceled in the United States because of the shutdown. So there's a lot of anxiety about being free. Mercury and Jupiter both retrograde at the same time. Now, Mercury does go direct on the 29th of November. So I'm wondering if the infrastructure of travel in the United States will start to heal, hopefully this week, with this particular lunation, but maybe not. I don't know. Look at what the Sabian symbol is telling us. This is a weird image, but certainly can be applied to the hiccup in the US travel industry because of the shutdown. So, Sabian symbol is this. Intoxicated chickens, not just chickens, but intoxicated chickens are trying to fly. Now, we all know that chickens they're not birds of prey, right? They stay close to the ground. They create eggs. They create nests, but they're not big birds of flight at all. So it's kind of a conundrum here, especially because the chickens are intoxicated. They're trying to fly. It's a weird image. That's the message of 20 degrees of Leo. And now, dear friends, let's go a little deeper with that. Oh my goodness, I forgot something. Mercury retrograde. Please go back to my Facebook pages after I do this, and you'll see the symbol for intoxicated chickens trying to fly. I was flying all over the place today. I had a lot of things on my plate, all fun things, actually, including a very positive doctor's appointment. Don't you hate going to a doctor's appointment and you're sitting there with bated breath, you're wondering what they're going to say? I got clean bill, clean bill, clean bill. Anyway, I forgot to put up my Sabian symbol message for the day, but I will as I got off of here. But imagine chickens that are intoxicated trying to fly. Let's apply it to your own life. Is there something you've been trying to get off the ground? We hit Wednesday with this lunation, and you're motivated to put together this new template, but by gosh, by golly, you can't get the thing off the ground. That's the image of this lunation, 20 degrees of Leo. So be gentle with yourself. Sometimes they're just hiccups plus the retrogrades, delays. Where the delays in your life. I really want to get this done, and it's just not quite coming to fruition. Meanwhile, we've got this cute little stellium. A stellium is a couple of planets, or I'm sorry, 3 or more planets all in a row. And we have the asteroid Angel. Yeah, there's an asteroid called Angel, conjunct Venus, which is conjunct Black Moon Lilith. Let's put that into a story. Angel, Venus, Black Moon Lilith. It's in Scorpio. What's Scorpio? Research, intensity, going deeper, psychology, going beneath the surface. So this implies seeing something deeper, specifically in the motives regarding love and money. And we might be struck with this image of the imperfection of love. Like even the person I adore and I'm married to for 1,000 years, or et cetera, my best friend of 40 years, they're not perfect. But Angel is reminding us, the asteroid, that, maybe the only perfect love is the perfect love of God. Because Black Moon Lilith kind of shakes things up and says, yeah, other people have other motivations and there's no such thing as an unconditional lover. Maybe not. I don't know, but you might be dwelling a little bit on this. And I would draw your attention to the Tao. I love the symbol, the yin yang symbol. In every darkness, there's a little light. In every light, there's a little darkness. And the Tao says the creation myth needs this warring between the light and the dark, so evolution happens. So, yeah, that's just a thought of the day when I see this Angel, Venus, and Black Moon Lilith. Meanwhile, I've been harping on this for a while, but it's being activated with this next week's energy. The moon is trining Chiron, and Chiron's still flirting with Eris, the great chaos, strife, outer planet that has a 500-year orbit. So the moon is knocking on the door of Chiron saying, hey, come on, get serious. Let's do some deep healing. All right. So I'm going to say hi to the folks in the room. Linnell, great to see you. Rhonda, great to see you, and good health to all. And I want to say to many of you, thank you for being so kind when I couldn't talk. Was it last week already? Yeah, that went away, but your prayers I know helped. Erica, great. Should we hold back from pushing that project away? Great question, Erica. This lunation is going to want you to go forth with the project. So yes, between now and the 29th of November, push on it, but be aware that there might be revisions on the project, and then focus after Mercury goes direct on the 29th of November. And then next week, Thursday, which we'll be talking about, we have another impulse to restart our lives with the new moon. So I'm saying a lot of things to you, right, Erica? But my thought here that we're in this vortex of uncertainty. And you know what the biggest stress in life is, I think, is uncertainty, right? I can deal with something bad if I know how to cope with it. I can deal with a diagnosis, even if it's bad, if I know how I can treat it. But when we're living in uncertainty, this is an uncertain time. So that's why I go back to the suggestion of finding solace with water, with your emotional, with your emotional need for comfort, literally drinking more water, bathing, doing hot soaks, walking by water, invoking water, but invoking your emotional sense of knowledge. Okay. Fear of the unknown. Exactly, Donna. You're right. Unknown. We don't do well with unknown. Hey, Cheryl. Hi, Erica, Trish, Linnell, Mary P, Marianne P, S, and Edna. Hello there. Hello. I am feeling much better. Thank you, Nancy. Good evening, Paula. Hi, Michelle. What? Oh, I missed something here. Hi, Dawn. My foster daughter has been in my life since she was 2 years old. Oh my God, Marianne, I am so sorry to hear that. Your foster daughter, I think you're saying. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. That's so tragic. My heart to you, Marianne. And Linnell, my dear from Australia, big hugs to you. I am sounding better. Thank you, Emery. Hey, Barbara from Santa Cruz. Good evening, Gail. Hi there, Kelly. W. Hi, Maria. Water calms your throat. Me too. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Kat. All right. And from Folsom, CA. And John. Oh, thank you, John, to be here. Hi, Donna M. Hi, Claire. Hi. Been a while since I connected. I'm seeing your face, your face in front of me, Claire. Hey, Terry. Hi, Diane. Hi, Jean, Jennifer, Nancy. I think I said everybody in this particular room. I'm not sure how many rooms I'm able to. Anyway, loved you all. Let us do. I liked your comments, said Hill. I'm more intrigued by the unknown than afraid of it. We should do something on spirits and paranormal stuff. Philadelphia. Hello, V. Hi, Jen. Hi. Last full moon was Taurus, Earth and Scorpio. I'm sick of being in the mud. That's right, Kelly. Yeah. All right, darlings. Let's go on to the next slide. Wait. Before I get to that slide. So I want to finish up the intoxicated chickens trying to fly. So I want to present this to you that we have a conundrum going on. The quarter cycle is saying, get your stuff together, build a new template, edit, make your life work. And then you might over exaggerate what you're trying to do because intoxicated chickens can't fly. Plain old chickens can't fly. So be aware that you may encounter people who are exaggerating their competency, or you might be exaggerating your competency where you find this 20 degrees of Leo. All right. So it's in your career house, the old expression, shoot for the stars, you'll be lucky to get the moon. Well, keep on shooting for the stars in reference to Erica's question, but no, there might be some REs going on, revisions, delays, rememberings. It's okay. We're living in this vortex of not quite knowing, which brings me to the next slide. Hey, does anyone know what's flying through our solar system? We know it's interstellar. According to Dr. Avi Loeb, he said, I love how he gives this these conditions on it. He's a Harvard-trained scientist, but he's got some bad press, but he's got some interesting things. They've been following 3i Atlas, this guy's name, Dr. Avi Loeb. And he says there's a 40% chance that this thing is a alien spacecraft. But in any case, this came out today. NASA shuts down public access to 3i Atlas after detecting anti-tail anomaly. All right, that's from LinkedIn Space Insider. So on July 1st, a telescope in Chile found something amazing moving through space at 130,000 miles per hour, the fastest object ever noticed from the star system, right? So it's called 3i Atlas. 3i means it's the third interstellar comet. And most astronomers seem to call it a comet. Some astronomers say not so fast. It's not a comet. It does some weird things, like its tail is backwards and et cetera, et cetera. And some people were saying, Dr. Loeb, for example, that it exploded when it got too close to the sun. But I don't know. I ain't an expert, but I'm finding some really interesting things online. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a comet? Is it an alien ship? Some people are saying it's a rescue mission because we all need a little rescuing here on planet Earth. Or another person says a vibrational message. Well, I'm more aligned with that vibrational message, really, because everything's vibration, right? I mean, even the sound of my voice over this weird thing called the internet. Who knew? But in any case, keep your eyes on the 3i. It's an intriguing object. And comets coming through our solar system, in any case, are always fascinating. So this is an ongoing situation. But scientists knew that this ancient traveler could teach us about distant star systems formed billions of years. Feel free to add your 2 cents about 3i Atlas. I think I don't know about you. When I hear the word 3i Atlas, I see a 3-eyed monster in my brain. I don't know why, but that's how I visualize it. Okay. Let's do some readings. And before we do the readings, I want to give you your nugget for the week. So if you're an Aries or Aries rising, this lunation is really triggering what? Your creativity, your fun, your romantic spark, your ability to just let all hang out and be your authentic self. If you're a Taurus or Taurus rising, lunation this week up until the new moon next Thursday is all about taking care of family, taking care of your domestic situation, maybe doing some deep cleaning or deep revealing with your family members and becoming a little bit more conciliatory. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Blah, blah, blah. Gemini, this new lunation is all about your schedule, the way you're thinking, the way you're speaking, the way you're managing your work. For Cancer or Cancer rising, this lunation is going to inspire you, friends, to become a little bit more proficient in the money department. So creating more flow with your finances. That's for our Cancer friends. Leo, it's all about you. If you're Leo or Leo rising, you step in, please, into your authority, your playfulness, and your leadership. For Virgo or Virgo rising, you might want to take a step back and do a little bit more meditation or prayer or retreat work in the next week. It's okay not to feel extroverted, Virgo. For Libra or Libra rising, get out there and commiserate with your friends. People, that's interesting. So I'm going to be having a little get together with people who used to be coming to my home classes. I've been teaching for some 35 years, and we're meeting next week. How cool is that? Anyway, I'm a Libra rising. But if you're Libra or Libra rising, it's all about what? Friends, groups, associates. Scorpio, it's all about your career, the way you're a leader. Visualize a new direction for your leadership in your career this upcoming week. Scorpio. Again, visualize it, but with all the delays, don't get frustrated if it doesn't come to tangible result. For Sagittarius, it's about travel. It's about speaking your piece, speaking your authority, and maybe even planning a trip. Maybe you should do a train ride, right? Use the train or use the bus. I don't know. For Capricorn, it's all about your personal power. Power is defined as feeling secure within yourself. So Capricorn is feeling secure within their psychological or emotional power. For Aquarius, it's about your sweethearts. It's about your BFFs. It's about your person in your life that you can go to with anything. Be a better partner to that person. And Pisces, it's all about your health and your work, organizing your work, being more efficient with your health, making that a priority for you. Let's do some readings. Okay. Hi, Susie Woo. Nice to see you, sweetie. Hi, Mary Russo. Hi, Donna. Okay, and let's see. Okay, Linnell, I would love to give you all reads. This is all completely random. I close my eyes and I say my prayer. And dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light and truth, inspiration and healing for the highest, for the best, as we align ourselves, the Holy Spirit. And I am with, wait. Oh, I'm going to try that again because I didn't get it. I'm just, show up on the screen. Okay. I'm with Mary Russo. Okay, Mary, I'm with you, my dear. As I'm tuning into you, I'm picking up two men on the other side of life, Mary, and I feel they are, I'm going back to the 60s and 70s, that time era. And these two gentlemen, I think they're brothers, or they could be a father and a son, but the son was close to his father's age. It feels like it's a relative to you. So I'm looking at a father and his father, or a father, his father, your grandfather, and an uncle all together. And they're hanging out and they're doing some really cool guy things. They're smoking cigars, they're playing cards, they're, just wilding the life away, but they're really enjoying each other. And the one who's identifying as more of your father figure is saying that you need a little bit more of that type of activity in your life. He's giving you some advice, like getting together with the girls to, I don't know, have lunch, or he's saying it's such a comfort to be with a group of people and to meet regularly. And he says, he's telling me that you've been on this trajectory of going forth, going fast, and getting everything done and being kind of exhausted and neglecting a little bit of the social life. He says that's very important. He would like you to maybe organize this holiday period, a little gathering with friends. He says it's really good for the soul. And he's saying you've been a little bit worried about long-term financial security. He says, let that take care of itself in the long haul. He says he didn't always live his life this way, but he would try to communicate, if he could, to you, I think your brother, another sister, this word of advice, that what we worry about today will take care of itself. And what we worried about yesterday, he's a very philosophical man, we have no even memory of. So in other words, yesterday's problems and worries are gone. And he's a faithful person. I leave that with many blessings for you, Mary. I hope that makes sense. There's a real wise alecky, but philosophical men on the other side of life who want to be acknowledged by you. Please give me some feedback. Okay. And who's this person? I'm with Greg Liss. Hello, Greg. I'm coming to you for a little bit of a read. Okay. And as I'm back. Oh, gosh. Where'd it go? Comments. There we go. So, Greg, you're up. I'm sure you'd like a read. And how cool. I just got to meet you on Sunday. And a big shout out to the friends and supporters of the Lilydale Church. Church of the Living Spirit. I was their speaker last Sunday. Greg, and it was great to meet you. Greg, as I'm tuning into your energy, there's someone on the other side of life who's appearing to me to have been very ginger in their mobility. Okay, and it feels it wasn't just old age. They may have had some ongoing issues with mobility. Like CP or something like this, like we're using crutches or wheelchair for a while. And this is a female, and she's coming in with this most serene and most spiritual persona. And she's saying that all of us are crippled in our own way, but she made a point of rising above this. And she says that you do the same thing. That people like a happy face, but we all have the equivalent amount of injury and woundedness. I don't know if you know your chart, Greg, but I'm getting the word Chiron very strongly with you, which tells me that your Chiron has been highly activated in the past couple of years, right? And that you've learned that lesson in a very big way, and you have so much more to live, so much more to look forward to, because I'm getting the word dark night of the soul around 8 years ago with you, but you've erased some of that wound, which is despondency, and you're like on fire to help other people with the same. So that's my message for you. And you're very gifted spiritually. You're very gifted with connecting with spirit. And I want to give you God's blessings. Please give me some feedback, guys. Okay. Thank you for the feedback, Mary. You do have memories of your dad and his brothers getting together with playing cards. He had 16 siblings. Whoa, I'm getting chills, Mary. And I'm sitting there, they're playing cards and, having a couple of shots and a couple of cigars and having a wild old time, right? It's so cool. You're very welcome, Greg. I love doing these readings, right? And I've got to figure out a way so we can actually talk. I'm going to do that. I keep on saying that, but I will do that. That's my promise to you after the Mercury goes direct, after the November 29th. A lot of really cool things. I'm also doing an online retreat that will be starting up on December, early December. It goes through February. And all the details will be discussed next Wednesday. I have a free session of an introduction to the You Matter retreat. At the same time, I also want to remind you, dear friends, at your fingertips is this amazing tool called the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. And they have an amazing periodical called Time Lords, free. It's a labor of love. So please take note of that and go to the Cosmic Intelligence Agency page, put your email in, and get this free periodical. Love you all. Thank you for being here, and have a great week. Next week, we're talking about that new moon. And so gear up. Get as much done as you can this week of template, but please avoid the frustration and don't be that chicken that's intoxicated thinking, I can't get off the ground with this thing. Patience is called for. I'm giving myself the same advice. God bless. See you next week.